Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. I know y'all like when I do the breaking news. Breaking news. Check it out, right? We're doing something different. It's Friday. I'm having fun. I'm feeling good. I got a couple of parties I got to go to tonight. They saying that Cardi B's BBL stank at the Coachella. You know? So I'm going to play a video where you got different females talking about, you know, BBLs and all that go bad and all that. Let's just keep this thing moving. All right? All right, you know what it is. Unique Make Audio, man. Yo, make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel, Juanita Make Audio. I just want to have some fun with it. So I'm going to try and do some of her stuff so you go over here and see her do it over there. But I want y'all to hear what this young lady's saying and how these women are speaking on these BBLs, because this is a serious issue. Because a lot of these young girls think they got to go out there looking all good with the body looking like what God didn't give them, but what they always dreamed of, and they got a couple of dollars and they get them shots and you don't know what you're getting shot. You know, they say all types of stuff in it. But you see how nice Nicki Minaj looked when she first spent the bag? You know, and then as time went on, they saying that, you know, that joint sagged and dropped and flipped and whipped and, you know, it ran away from her. You know, they say Nicki Minaj's ass trying to get away from her, right? So they're going to speak on why you shouldn't do that so you could understand, but we just doing this from a man perspective. All right?
Thinking a year into the process, you might have some, like, it could be your crotch. I don't think it's the BBL itself. It might be a wound or one of the holes. To which I would say go to your nearest hospital immediately, because it's probably rotting.
Welcome back to Star Hush, where the tea ain't just hot, it's boiling over. Let's get into the madness, because Cardi B just pulled up at Coachella, looking like her BBL came straight out of a sci-fi lab, and not in a good way.
These that like, they praise thick girls, they praise thighs, they praise all of that, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's hard to just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk around my flat ass. No. Some of y'all happy with it, that's great, but that just wasn't me when I was young. So getting a BBL.
See, she kept it 100, and that's what she's doing. She's talking to the young ladies right now. And we guilty as, you know, younger men, older men, just men in general, you know, because that's what a lot of us like. And the women believe that's what all of us like. So they don't know that they could meet a man that would like them with the flat butt made into your back, you know, look like you've been, you know, sitting on your back all your life, you know, but there's somebody for everybody. So you're not supposed to get caught up in wanting to, you know, say, oh, I wanted my to look like that, you know? Like, that's like somebody saying, I didn't want my nose to be this flat. I wanted my nose to be more like what Michael Jackson paid for. I wanted to be a black Michael Jackson. You know, I mean, come on. You know, I'm comfortable where I am. I know I got a 2-car garage nose. I mean, I heard all the jokes growing up, you know, whooped a couple of ass for it, you know, took a couple of ass whoopings too. But, you know, but that's what made us who we are. You know, we fight for what's ours. This is my nose. Who you to talk about it before I could understand that it's my nose? Because right now, you know, I'm taking it like you're being insulted, and that's how the young ladies is taking it, like they got to go out, they got to go do this, they got to go do that. And that's why I really like this video, because I'm learning some things from this video. So I'm hoping y'all learning some things as well.
When you're broke is what's causing BBL smell. You think a BBL is just the price for the surgery. Those massages after are very important. I did a massage like every day for 2 months. When you get surgery, you have to drain out those fluids. Those massages drain you. And then you need to detox. Some of you just don't care. Some of you are too broke.
Now here,
some of you just don't care, and some of you too broke. Now you got to go through all that to change your body to make someone else want you, because you don't love yourself the way you are. Am I correct or am I wrong? Somebody put it in the comments. I don't know. I might be wrong. You know, but I'm just trying to process this. You know, so let's just keep it moving.
This. Cardi stepped out like she was fresh off the build-a-body assembly line, and the internet lost it. Folks were clutching their edges, screenshotting and zooming in like the backside had a message to deliver. Real talk, that BBL had the crowd stunned into silence, not because it was giving life, but because it was giving melted candle vibes.
That if you young, if you 19, if you 20, if you 21, and sometimes you too skinny, and you be like, oh my God, I don't got enough fat to pull on my ass and everything, so you resort to ass shots, bitch, don't do it. Like, I am super, 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 super against ass.
She got a BBL, they ain't gonna make it. They not gonna make it, dog. They're not gonna make it.
Let's keep it real for a sec. Cardi been on this new solo mission ever since she and Offset went their separate ways. First came the I'm Independent soft launch, then boom, new jawline, sculpted nose, chin tweak, and whatever that was going on from the waist down. The girl's body been transforming faster than an AI filter on a phone app. And baby, Coachella was supposed to be her big I'm that girl again moment, but instead, folks were asking if the BBL came with a deflate button. It was swaying like it had its own personality, and the fit she wore, it was holding on for dear life.
After I gave birth to my son, my ass was fucking huge. And the reason why my ass was so fucking huge, because I almost gained 20. And you already know my ass already has ass shots. In August, I did surgery because a lot of people thought that as soon as I gave birth, I got my body done. No, I didn't. In August, I did surgery and I removed 95% of my bowel perimeter. But of course, right, they took it out of me, but they still had to shape my butt because they took a lot of shots out. So my butt is a little fluffy.
You see what I'm saying? Listen to all this that she going through. That's why I sat there stunned, because this is like just amazing. You know, 95% of fluids out of her, and then had to reshape her when she could have just stayed how she was. You don't know, a lot of dudes, you know, they'll love the way it looked, but they just care about the throat and the goat. You know what I mean? The throat and the goat and the box. You know, all in the back, they can look at somebody else while they with you, whatever, put in their mind. They you know, God helped us with all of these things, so we have an imagination. So you could imagine you with the girl that went through all of this, that's going to wind up having it look like it got deflated and flattened and tossed out. Or you could have just chilled with the one you had and just thought about her before she looked deflated and tossed out. Let's keep it moving.
Social media went wild with comments like, why it looked like she's sitting on two lava lamps, and not the BBL throwing shade before Cardi even spoke. Some fans even joked that her silhouette could cast its own Coachella stage. Now don't get it twisted, nobody's shading cosmetic surgery. Cardi been open about her work, but the problem is the rebrand's looking less glam and more glitch. Every time she hops on IG Live, folks notice the changes. Different face shape, tighter skin, more curves than last week.
Ain't that what Little Kim did? You think maybe that's why they was going at each other? You think they may have been using the same plastic surgeon? Let's keep it moving. Now we're getting somewhere. See, I'm learning something from this.
To the point where fans worried she's on that Lil Kim 2.0 timeline. And when somebody said it, Cardi clapped back like, mind your business. But the thing is, sis, when you're front row center with 100 million followers, it becomes everybody's business.
Or natural?
I prefer natural.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about, man. I be telling these females, man, they tripping, man.
And this isn't just surface level drama. People are clocking the deeper shift too. Like, why now? Why the sudden over-the-top image push? Some say it's to distract from the Offset breakup heat. Others think she's just trying to stay one step ahead of the next wave of it girls. Either way, Coachella was not the comeback look she hoped for. But now, the mess done spilled into the public like somebody knocked over the tea kettle. because that whole backside situation is looking like it needs a GoFundMe campaign. Quick! And listen, it ain't even just the visuals anymore. People who were in close range at Coachella near the VIP bar said things got real uncomfortable. One person said the air changed so fast when Cardi and her new clique started twerking. It was like a...
Yo, they said when they started twerking that they stank. Not Cardi B. Yo, imagine Cardi up there shaking it. You just looking at it, you like, oh my God, what I would do with that. And then you just get a whiff of something that smelled like a cow's. How would you feel? Put that in the comments. Would you still want to hit it? You know? Females, would you still want to be with her, him, whoever it is that's up there? And, you know, they looking all good while they up there, but then you smell a whiff from back in the audience. And then after the joint, they pushed up on you and tried to holler at you. Would you let them holler? That's all I want to know, you know, for now.
A whole weather shift hit the room. That's not body yada yada energy. It's giving bacteria, bacteria, bacteria. And I wish I was joking.
The BBLs ain't what y'all think it is. First of all, the bigger it is, the harder it is to keep it clean.
Damn good point. He ain't lying. You know? Hey, y'all, you know, I even wondered that. How did they reach back past that? I seen a girl on Love and Hip Hop in Atlanta. She had red hair. She was an Amazon. She was also in one of the, you know, like men's magazines, King or something like that. But she was a great big Amazon, and she put like 2 champagne glasses on her butt cheeks, right? And she's standing up perfectly straight with this wine, you know? And I'm like, whoa. How does she wash that when she reached back and she barely even got anywhere? So that was the first thing came to my mind. How she even wash her? You know? And dudes say, man, I'll do this, I'll do that. And all I'm thinking is, how did she wash that big one? How she get back there to get up? Let's keep it moving.
Word is, one person even said, it felt humid back there, like steam was fighting to escape. Mind you, this ain't just some online hate. This came from folks who were there, live, breathing in whatever was flying through the air. Whoo! Let's talk about the moment the internet completely lost it. Cardi was posted up in the VIP section, acting like she just relaunched her OnlyFans, trying to hit the moves like it was 2018. But something was way off. One girl tweeted, she looked like she was about to tip over like a bar stool with one leg. Another said her hips and her rhythm were in 2 different time zones.
Damn.
And honestly, they didn't lie. It was like her left side was stuck in buffering mode, while the right side was trying to play catch up. And the wildest part, Cardi tried to smile through it like everything was cute, grinning like she ain't noticed people side-eyeing and pulling out their phones for evidence.
What did you expect her to do? Stop and argue and be Cardi B and cuss you out? But because she kept it professional and did the right thing, now they're sitting here having a discussion about it on YouTube. Is this crazy or what? But, you know, that's why I just wanted to mix it up. It's Friday. I just feel like chilling. You know, I got to go do a speech with some young kids today, so I just wanted to make sure that I was in a different place than the gangster place so I could, you know, feel a little human.
That smile was giving I'm good really, but the body language, it was saying somebody save me. The whole room felt tight. The energy, office, the tension, real. Cardi's BBL looked like it was holding on by Wi-Fi. Let's not pretend we didn't see this coming. Cardi been moving a little too Plastic Factory Part 2 ever since the rumors started flying that Offset might really be gone this time.
Yo, you think maybe that's why Offset broke out, because the ass already did? You think Offset is following that? Somebody put in the comments, man.
And now she's out here trying to repackage herself like a rebooted Sims character. New chin, ultra snatch nose, high gloss cheeks, a waistline you gotta squint to find, and hips that look like they got stuffed straight out the State Fair deep fryer. Folks been whispering for a minute now that she's in her revenge body era. But if this is revenge, baby, it's not giving fine and unbothered. It's giving struggling to reboot after a glitch. And the more she tries to push this comeback tour energy, the more people are asking, is this a glow up or a full-on identity crisis? Let's be clear, this ain't even shade no more, it's straight up concern. Cardi used to move like a Bronx baddie with real deal confidence, stepping on necks and brushing off haters like lint. But now it's giving please tell me I still got it energy.
Yo, is that crazy? He hit it on the nose. Because Cardi, you was beautiful. You're still beautiful. You know, with or without that, you're still beautiful. But I mean, if you feel like, you know, having a bigger backside was better than being beautiful, guys, I want you to put in the comments, girls, if you're into the girls, put it in the comments. I want to know, right? Would you rather your lover be really pretty with no butt or really ugly with all the butt? Just the way you always dreamed of it. The type that make you want to cry when you see it. Huh? Y'all let me know on that one. No, let me see who this is. Hold up. Yo, I'm doing a recording right now. I'm recording. You hear me?
Yes, I call that.
All right. Yeah. So that's where we at, right? So what would you rather have? An ugly one, the ugliest girl, but she got the baddest body? Or would you rather the prettiest girl with no body? Put it in the comments. That's what we need to talk about.
Sis is moving like she's auditioning for validation instead of just living her best life. And let's keep it real. Every time a man plays her, she hits the surgery table like it's a therapy session. Like, girl, we get it. Offset hurt your feelings, but you ain't gotta rebuild your body like it's a Lego set every single time. All we want is the Cardi who used to drag haters in bars, not the one becoming the punchline in a latex onesie that looked like it was struggling to hold on for dear life. Allegedly. Now, let's break down the bar moment that had the timeline gagging harder than Cardi's PR team. She pulled up with her full BBL battalion, thick girls, thick vibes, and even thicker egos. They had one mission, twerk and turn heads. And they did, just not in the way they expected. Somebody hit record and boom, the clip went viral. But plot twist, nobody was talking about the choreography. The only thing spinning faster than the video was the comment section reacting to the smell. Yes, the smell, allegedly. One person tweeted, "It smelled like hot Velveeta cheese mixed with Sephora setting spray." Another said, "It was giving high school gym locker after double PE." Whew, I wasn't there to smell for myself, so for legal reasons, we gotta say, allegedly. But when the internet got more commentary about the air than your outfit or your moves, yeah, it might be time to check what's really going on behind the glam squad. Cause that ain't ambiance, baby. That's ammonia. And when folks start comparing your section's vibe to expired cheese and body spray, it's not luxury, it's a low point.
Let me tell you something. When an ugly hit on you is expected because, I mean, hello. But when a pretty hates on you, it's like, damn, are you a bad you can take me?
Right after that Coachella moment had the streets whispering, Cardi jumped on live, and you could tell right away, sis was deep in denial.
That's when they should have interviewed Offset and asked him, yo, what's up? I know that's your ex now, so you could tell us, does it really stink? Y'all think he would have, you think he would have responded? Somebody put in the comment, you think he would have responded and let it be known if it do or don't? Do you think it do or don't? You put that in the comment. Do you think that what they're saying is true about Cardi B? Or you think this is just hate? Put it in the comments, all right?
She was talking a mile a minute, giggling at nothing, throwing fake laughs like confetti, trying to convince the world that she was still that girl. But let's be honest, who was she really trying to convince? Us or herself? She started doing the usual. I'm still the baddest. They hate to see a successful Latina winning. Y'all just mad cause I don't care what nobody think. But the crowd wasn't hating, baby. They were confused. Because that whole speech was giving anxious energy, wrapped in rhinestones. And no shade. But confidence don't come with a filter, and it sure don't need to be bought at a surgeon's office. The comments were flying in real time like, girl, blink twice if you're spiraling. And is this a live or a cry for help? The vibe, off is her voice, shaky, Her face, looking like it got a new update every other month. People weren't coming for her success. They were watching her fold right in front of them and didn't even know it. And while she kept yelling that she don't care what nobody think, her whole appearance was screaming, "Validation, please." Let's call it for what it is. This ain't just about Cardi twerking through a glittery midlife crisis. Nah, this is about something bigger. We're in an era where body image been sold, flipped, filtered, and reposted so much that the new normal looks more like a Bratz doll caught in a Facetune storm than an actual person. Real talk. We've hit a point where curves are bought on credit, waistlines are squeezed tighter than a promo deadline, and every new procedure is treated like it's a fresh pair of shoes. And
Hey, yo, what I don't understand, Ron, let's just keep this 100. What I don't understand is, I just sat back, I just really want to listen and see where we was at. I want to really know, because they making it like if men don't like girls with BBLs. Stop it. Stop it. We're not going to say that either now. You know what I mean? I think a person should stick with what they got. But that's their choice. But me, I ain't got a problem with a BBL. Do you got a problem with a BBL? Put in the comments and tell me why you would have a problem with a BBL. You know what I mean? Because it's not really the BBL, it's the person's heart. It's their content. That helps. That's the bonus. That's like the cherry on the top. But nah. Put in the comments because they're making it sound like no man want a woman with BBL. And that sounds crazy. Because I made a girl, I'm not going to say, I don't want to be with you because, you have a BBL. Now, if you got a busted BBL, I'll tell you I don't want to be with you because you got a busted BBL. But I'm not going to say I don't want to be with you and you got a beautiful BBL just because you got a BBL. That's me. Men, keep it 100. Put it in the comments and let me know because I feel it's the content of their heart, their spirit, their smile, the way they make you feel. The BBL, you only use that a couple of times. You know what I mean? And that's it. Keep it moving.
Cardi, she's looking like the poster girl for what happens when you swap self-love for scalpel loyalty. The real gag? Cardi had it. The talent, the charisma, the raw energy that made people root for her from stripper poles to stadium stages. She had the whole package. But somewhere between the ghostwriting whispers, offset scandals, and liposuction version 8.0, something shifted. Something real got lost. Now it's starting to feel like she's chasing approval from strangers who only double tap so they can drag her in the comments 5 seconds later. And that's the real trap, trying to patch up inner wounds with outside upgrades. You can't slap a filter on insecurity, and baby, you definitely can't Febreze away the mess that's bubbling underneath. Cardi used to be that girl who clapped back so fast you couldn't even blink before the internet was in shambles. One "you dusty" from her would shut down a whole thread. But now, her comebacks hit like reruns. Same energy, no spark. It's like she's arguing more with herself than the trolls. And let's not ignore what the fans are saying. It's not hate, it's heartbreak. They loved her because she was relatable, because she was raw and unfiltered. Now, every time she pops out, it's a new face, a tighter waist, a fresh round of surgery, and the crowd is like,
what does that have to do with her mind? A new waist, a new this, a new that. What does that have to do with her mind? That's all I want to know. What does that have to do with her mind? What they got to do with her smile? You talking with her? You tell me. I mean, I'm really lost at where they going at with this. So y'all put in the comments so I know. All right?
Why? One fan even said it best. Cardi out here battling the old her and the new one ain't even winning. The same supporters who hyped her rise are now watching her break down behind layers of glam and silicone. And it's painful. It's like watching someone paint over a cracked wall and pretending the damage ain't still spreading underneath. She used to light up a room with her energy. Now folks saying the only thing lighting up the room is the scent coming from them overworked surgeries.
That's crazy.
As one fan put it, now that I know BBLs come with a scent, I'm scared for everybody in the room. Ooh, not too much squatting now. And let's just keep it all the way real. At this point, BBLs done lost their shine. What used to be seen as bold and sexy is now starting to feel copy-paste. Everybody walking around with the same build, same shape, same surgery checklist like it's some kind of factory rollout. And now, the magic's gone. The thighs still not matching, the silhouettes looking stiff, and the wow factor turned into girl again. One fan said it loud and clear. It's like watching a glitchy app update in real life. Every version messier than the last. And honestly, they're not wrong. Somewhere
Man, I didn't have the volume on. Man, he was right. I was riding too. I said, no, what I was saying is that he was correct. You know, what I was saying is that he was correct, is that just because the woman is not comfortable with who she is, so she's trying to go out and rebuild and buy and, you know, and try and make something, you know, trying to find herself, but that she got to find herself up here first before she could try and find herself back there or below the, you know, the neck, you know, so that's the first thing, and that's where we have to try and keep them by telling them from their babies that they're beautiful, because, you know, let me ride. My granddaughter wrote a poem, and I was reading the poem, and it was a beautiful poem. I couldn't even believe this 12-year-old girl wrote this. I mean, 12 years old, all I know how to do is read a triple beam scale and a handheld ounce scale. And, you know, this little girl wrote a poem that seemed like a professional poet wrote it, but there was one line in it that stuck out, and that's why I decided to do this video for her. Skylar, big shout out Skylar, right? That's why I need to make Audio's daughter. All right. So now I remember where I was at. Oh, it was a line in the poem, you know, and that one line in the poem she said that stuck out to me was, you know, I'm still beautiful even though I'm so dark. My granddaughter said in a poem, I'm still beautiful even though I'm so dark. And she's 12 years old. I don't think I ever forget that. Because that's what we try and raise our children to be in love with themselves instead of trying to buy something else. You know, next thing you know, she's trying to bleach her skin, trying to look, you know, like she, you know, Michael Jackson. You know, but my granddaughter said she cool with that. Let me get back to this, because I'm about to get a little emotional, because that was a little deep to know that, you know, we got her there at 12, you know? And she even said something else in the poem. I might read the poem. I might have her come up here and read the poem. Y'all want my granddaughter to read this poem, but it was a nice long poem. It was nice, but it was something else she said in the poem that really stuck out to me, is how she was saying that, you know, how loving herself made her understand herself. And I'm like, is this a 12-year-old girl? Oh, this is 2025. This ain't 88. You know, because I don't know no 12-year-old girls that was writing no poems like that and speaking so highly about themselves. But let me get back so we can tap out. You know, but that's because she understands herself and she know who she is. Big shout out. Give me a round of applause. We're going to give Skylar a round of applause. Relax, man. Let me finish this joint, please.
along the way, Cardi went from setting trends to trying to keep up with the same ones she used to clown. That Bronx confidence that had folks screaming, "Occur," is now hiding behind filters and facelifts. So what's next? Cardi's got two paths. She could pause, get vulnerable, and really deal with whatever insecurities driving all these changes. Or she can keep pretending she's unbothered while silently spiraling on live streams and random tweets. But baby, the audience sees it. The question is, does she?
Yo, do you think Cardi B see this, what's going on? Or you think this is just a behavior that's, to her, it's normal? Because we already know the Cardi that came out, the first time I seen it, because we riding. And we ain't ain't get the rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trolls a gunshot all night. Come on, relax. Dang, dang, dang. All right, so now, Cardi B, and I'm ready to just tap out because this whole situation is just like, I'm kind of lost for words because, because we riding. When I was home, no disrespect, but the white girls all had flat asses, right? And the black girls was the ones that was shapely. And the white girls was pretty. Black girls were pretty too, of course. But the white girl could be pretty with a flat butt, but people still wanted them. You know what I mean? And that's when they had the skinny era. And then while I've been gone, it crossed over to all of this Cardi B era, and that I can't even understand how that even played out like that, but, I'm still trying to figure it out, I see they confused and I'm confused. I'm going to keep it 100 because I'm confused how they could be so confused, because back then, I'm talking about this is before the BBLs. No one thought about it. Everybody was comfortable in their own skin back then. They were doing like other things, different wigs, bunch of makeup, half naked. They did whatever to get attention, but they didn't go and chop up their bodies. One of my close friend was like 400 something pounds. He got the thing where his tummy got chucked out, got a thing put in it, a staple put in it. He just had a heart attack and died. Rest in peace to him, But that's because he wasn't comfortable. When all he had to do was push away from the table, try a little harder and a little harder. And I always told him that. And I know this guy says second grade. It's like, that is my oldest friend that I'm still in communication with. I just lost him. And he's 2 years younger than me because we were both in elementary school together when we met. But you have to be comfortable with who you are, man. I don't know. And I want y'all to put in the comments, how did it cross over to where the BBLs and just the beginning to where it began? I see where it's at, but I miss where it began. How did that first get introduced, to y'all? Because they wasn't doing no surgeries back then. Please tell me how it began. Let me tap out. Subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel at Juanita Mecca Audio, Juanita. Go to Unique Mecca Audio Prison Stories and Mecca Audio TV. All right.
Cheers. Toast the crime. Toast the crime. The crime. The crime. The crime. Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whiny. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours, so we can give back to the. Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.